You're now listening to the Engage the Rockies podcast, your go-to podcast for local and state issues concerning Colorado.
Hello, Colorado. This is your Engage the Rockies weekend review for the week of September 2nd to the 6th. If you'd like the show notes with the links to the stories we're covering today, please visit engagetherockies.com and sign up to our email. Every Friday, we'll send you a list of articles when a new episode is released. From around the state, Governor Jared Polis signed a property tax bill into law after it was passed by Colorado lawmakers during last month's special session. Supporters claim the cuts will save homeowners and small businesses over $1.5 billion every year. The law is also designed to prevent large spikes in property taxes, similar to what many Colorado homeowners experienced last year. The measure passed with bipartisan support. The Office of State Planning and Budget says the compromise, combined with another bill passed in the spring, will cut taxes $200 to $300 a year depending on where you live. Homeowners will save $233 on average next year in Denver, $324 in Adams County, $188 in Garfield County, and $173 in Pueblo. The savings go up in 2026. Taxes will also drop for commercial and industrial property owners, including utilities that are required to pass the savings on to ratepayers. Maybe most importantly, the compromise bill caps future increases at 5% to 6% going forward. Moving on, Tren de Aragua, a violent gang that originated in the prisons of Venezuela, has expanded its reach far beyond the South American country and established a foothold in the Denver metro area, according to the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. Described by the U.S. government as Venezuela's, quote, most powerful criminal gang, authorities said it operates sex trafficking networks and exploits Venezuelan migrants. Back in April, the chief of the U.S. Border Patrol warned Americans to, quote, watch out for this gang. It is the most powerful in Venezuela, known for murder, drug trafficking, sex crimes, extortion, and other violent acts, end quote. The gang is making headlines in Colorado after its members have been accused of a jewelry heist, a beating, shootings, and barging in apartment units with rifles. For more information on the activities of Tren de Aragua, Colorado Politics has a detailed breakdown on their website at coloradopolitics.com. Moving on, Castle Rock's Town Council on Tuesday unanimously approved a motion to lay the groundwork to sue Colorado's most populous city over its immigration policies. A council member said Castle Rock needs to address the crisis in Denver that he said is spilling over into neighboring counties and cities. Nearly 43,000 immigrants, many from Venezuela, have traveled to Denver after crossing America's borders illegally. Plane, bus, and train tickets purchased by Denver officials suggest that half have stayed in the region. Early in the humanitarian crisis, Denver officials decided that the city would assume the cost of temporarily housing and feeding immigrants. Denver taxpayers have shouldered the majority of costs, with the latest tally at $74 million. Some have argued, including officials in El Paso, Texas, that the city's policies, notably free shelter and paying for transportation costs to destination states, have served as a draw. The city has doubled down on those policies. In mid-April, Douglas County filed a lawsuit against the state of Colorado over its sanctuary statutes. They say restrict local law enforcement officials from working with federal authorities on illegal immigration. The county argued the laws are unconstitutional and preempted by federal laws. The lawsuit filed by El Paso and Douglas counties targets a 2023 law that restricts the ability of state and local governments from making agreements with federal immigration officials over the detention of immigrants who are unlawfully staying in the country, as well as a 2019 statute that blocks local law enforcers from arresting or detaining an immigrant solely on the basis of a federal immigration detainer. Current Colorado laws also prevent state judicial officials from sharing information with federal immigration officials. When asked for a response, a Denver mayor's office spokesperson said the city won't comment on any potential legal action. Moving on, 3 families represented by Alliance Defending Freedom have filed a federal lawsuit alleging that the Jefferson County School District violated parents' fundamental right to make decisions about the upbringing and education of their children. The lawsuit is based on the school district's policy of assigning students to share overnight accommodations with other students who share the student's gender identity rather than rooming by sex, according to a statement released today from Alliance Defending Freedom. When Joe and Serena Wales allowed their 11-year-old daughter to attend a district-sponsored trip to Philadelphia and Washington, D.C., they were told their daughter would be rooming with 3 other 5th-grade girls, the statement said. It wasn't until their daughter was in her room getting ready for bed on the first night of the trip that she discovered she was to share a bed with a boy who identified as a girl. Jeffco Public Schools did not immediately respond to the Denver Gazette's request for comment on the case. From around El Paso County. El Paso County launches a new online affordable housing finder. The new tool maps out affordable housing across the county and includes both public and subsidized private developments. Users can single out housing authority developments, those run by the large housing nonprofit Grecio Housing, and subsidized developments. Clicking on an option shows users the type of housing, whether it caters to certain demographics like the elderly, along with providing the total amount of units and contact information. The map is a tool to navigate an increasingly competitive, affordable housing market. A 2024 report by the Common Sense Institute found a housing deficit in Colorado Springs within the range of 16,554 to 27,360 units. Affordable housing prices can be based on different metrics, including an applicant's income and the average income for the area of the development. And lastly, a military board lifted a ban this week on service members going to the Citadel Mall after hearing from mall ownership about safety improvements. The ban was put in place during July and was revised to allow service members to go there for educational and religious purposes shortly after it was put in place. The mall is home to a large church and a school. Fort Carson never provided clear data on why the mall was included on the list. The base said at the time the Armed Forces Disciplinary Control Board examines police data and businesses are made off limits after all alternative remediation options are exhausted. The decisions are made to protect service members. Those are your top stories for the week of September 2nd through the 6th. Please tune in each Friday for your weekend review from Engage the Rockies. Please continue to like, share, and subscribe for more great content. If you'd like the full articles from the stories we read today, sign up to our email list at engagetherockies.com and we'll send you our show notes each week. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Engage the Rockies podcast, your go-to podcast for local and state issues concerning Colorado.